Everyone believed the letter was harmless. A young woman, a soft envelope, a few romantic words written in careful ink. No one suspected it carried the final warning that would save an entire city. Her name was Elise. She lived in a small, occupied town during the war, where soldiers watched every street, every door, every breath. Letters were checked. Bags were searched. People disappeared for carrying far less than paper and ink. But love letters were different. Soldiers skimmed them with bored eyes, laughed at the emotion, and waved them through. That was why Elise volunteered. The resistance had intercepted terrifying news. An attack was planned at dawn. Artillery would flatten the city. Hospitals, schools, homes. Nothing would be spared. The warning had to reach command by nightfall. But radios were tracked. Messengers were shot. Maps were too obvious. All that remained was a letter. Elise sat alone at a wooden table and began to write. She wrote about missing him, about the sound of his footsteps, about the future they would have after the war. But between every sentence, hidden in the shape of her words, was a code. The length of each line, the slant of the letters, the spacing between words. To anyone else, it was a love letter. To the resistance, it was a map, a time, and a warning. When she sealed the envelope, her hands were steady, but her heart wasn't. She knew what would happen if they discovered it. Execution would be immediate. She walked through the first checkpoint with her head lowered. A soldier stopped her. He took the envelope and read it slowly. His lips curled into a smile. "Love?" he asked. Elise nodded, forcing herself to breathe. He laughed, folded the letter, and handed it back. "Run along," he said. "War won't wait for romance." She didn't run. She walked. Every step felt louder than a gunshot. At the second checkpoint, a different soldier held the letter longer. He read it twice. Elise felt her legs weaken. Then he scoffed, crumpled it slightly, and shoved it back at her. "Disgusting," he muttered. "Too emotional." She kept walking. By the time she reached the edge of the city, night had fallen. Her hands were numb. Her breath came in shallow gasps. One final checkpoint stood between her and the resistance. The officer there was older, careful, suspicious. He opened the letter slowly, read every word. Elise felt time stretch painfully thin. Then the officer folded the letter, placed it back into the envelope, and stared at her. "For your sake," he said quietly, "I hope he writes back." He let her pass. Elise collapsed the moment she reached safety. The letter was delivered within minutes. The code was read. The warning was understood. That night, the city was evacuated. Hospitals were cleared. Children were moved. Troops repositioned. At dawn, the artillery struck. Buildings burned. Streets shattered. But the city was not destroyed. Thousands lived because of one letter. Elise never saw the man she wrote to. He had died months earlier. The love letter was never meant to be answered. It was only meant to be read by the right people at the right time. After the war, no record of Elise could be found. No photograph, no grave. Only a single letter remains in the archives, written in beautiful handwriting, signed with a name no one remembers, a love letter that carried a warning, and proved that sometimes the strongest weapon in war is not a gun, but a piece of paper folded with care.